This building now a terrible reminder of the young woman's gruesome death after partial remains were found here last December.
It started with a clogged pipe, a regular plumbing call, nothing unusual. But what the plumber found inside the bathroom pipe would spark one of the darkest criminal investigations in Canadian history. What followed revealed a horrifying truth lurking in the quiet city of Oshawa.
Oshawa, Ontario, a city just east of Toronto, with tree-lined streets and a tight-knit community, known for its car manufacturing roots and peaceful neighborhoods. It seemed like the last place you'd expect something so chilling. But beneath that calm surface, one man was hiding something that would leave a permanent scar on the city. His name was Adam Strong, a quiet and assuming figure who lived alone in a basement apartment at 19 Macmillan Drive. From the outside, the house looked ordinary, just another rental on a quiet street. But inside, something far more sinister was unfolding. It would all begin with a young woman named Rori Hache.
Rori Hache was just 18, bright, outgoing, and full of energy. She loved music and was about to become a mother. Her family adored her, describing her as caring, kind-hearted, and someone who made friends easily. She grew up in Oshawa, and like many other teens, had her struggles. But she was determined to build a future for herself and her unborn baby. On August 29, 2017, Rori left home and vanished into the night. She was never seen again.
Her family reported her missing the next day. Flyers were posted everywhere. Police searched parks, rivers, alleys, anywhere she might have gone. But there was no sign of her, until September 11, 2017, when a fisherman near Oshawa Harbor spotted something floating in Lake Ontario. At first, he thought it was driftwood, but as he got closer, he realized it was a human torso. Police were called. DNA tests confirmed the worst. It was Rori. Police believed she was pregnant at the time of her killing, but the rest of her body was still missing.
Months passed and the investigation stalled. Then, on December 29, 2017, a plumber was called to an apartment on Macmillan Drive because of a clogged drain. The smell was unbearable. When he opened the pipes, he found something that no one expected. Instead of the usual hair clogging the drain, it was about 10 to 15 pounds of human flesh and tissue. The plumber described it as thick chunks of what looked like raw meat, tangled and rotting inside the pipe. He immediately called the police.
Communications.
I'm a plumber and I'm on site for a job, and we're snaking a drain, and we've been pulling back. We probably pulled back about 10 pounds, 15 pounds of it looks like flesh type of stuff, meat, and we don't know what it is.
The apartment below belonged to Adam Strong. He was 45, unemployed, and had already been questioned once during the Rori investigation. But nothing had linked him to her disappearance, until now. When police arrived and knocked on his door, Strong didn't act surprised. Calmly he said, "Okay, you got me. The gig's up, it's a body." Then chillingly added, "If you want to recover the rest of her, she's in my freezer. She's buried, defleshed." He confessed without hesitation, but what police found inside was even more horrifying.
The apartment was filthy. Garbage was piled high, stained walls, and a heavy stench of decay. But worse than the mess were the human remains hidden inside. In the basement freezer, police found multiple body parts carefully wrapped in black garbage bags, including Rori Hache's severed head, foot, a calf, and a section of her thigh. One leg had been sawed off and folded to fit inside the freezer drawer. Throughout the apartment, a disturbing scene of violence emerged. Ropes and leather bondage gear, a spreader bar heavily stained with blood hanging on the wall, a wooden walking stick, and a pet leash spattered with blood near the bed.
The bathroom drains were clogged with flesh and fat. Blood smeared the sink and toilet. Adam Strong had been methodically dismembering the body, flushing parts away and freezing others. Saw blades found caked with tissue showed the gruesome work. The autopsy revealed massive skull fractures and lacerations consistent with repeated blows from a heavy blunt object, likely a hammer, crashing Rori's brain. She suffered blunt force trauma, cracked ribs from pressure, and lacerations indicating restrained and prolonged suffering. After killing her, Strong removed her reproductive organs and saw that her unborn baby was gone, confirming she was no longer pregnant. Her flesh was scalpeled from her arms and legs, apparently to hide bruises. There were signs of sexual violence as well, with strong semen found on her body.
Detectives discovered bondage restraints, including ropes, leather straps, and used condoms in the trash. Strong's internet history revealed searches for snuff films and dismemberment methods. He had documented his violent fantasies in hidden folders on his computer. As investigators combed through the apartment, they began to fear that Rori wasn't his only victim.
Their fears were confirmed. Further investigation linked Strong to other missing women, including Kandis Fitzpatrick, who had vanished almost a decade earlier. Kandis was 19 when she disappeared in 2008, struggling with homelessness and addiction. She drifted through vulnerable circles in Oshawa. Her family never stopped searching, but police had no leads, no witnesses, no remains.
After Strong's arrest, police searched his apartment again, this time more thoroughly, using cadaver dogs, UV lights, and chemical agents. They tore into baseboards and floorboards, uncovering blood traces behind furniture and under the laminate flooring. DNA test revealed that the blood wasn't Rori's, but Kandis's.
Inside an old toolbox, police found a large hunting knife in Strong's kitchen, stained with tissue and blood. DNA testing matched Kandis Fitzpatrick. A leather restraint strap, stained deep reddish brown, was hidden in a closet. Strong never mentioned her and denied involvement, but the evidence was undeniable.
On Strong's encrypted hard drive, police discovered a chilling journal entry describing a girl with hollow cheeks and cracked lips who fought until the cord slipped tight. Investigators believe this was Kandis, murdered years before Rori ever disappeared.
The evidence piled up: blood on walls, floors, ceilings, even inside the toilet tank. Police found restraints, duct tape, syringes, knives, and bleach bottles. A crude pipe bomb was found in the basement, adding a sinister layer to Strong's depravity. A rented storage locker held clothing and IDs belonging to unknown women. Strong had collected trophies, physical and digital, for years. But through it all, he remained mostly silent.
In March of 2021, Adam Strong stood trial for the first-degree murder of Rori Hache and the manslaughter of Kandis Fitzpatrick. The courtroom heard harrowing details: Rori's partial survival during dismemberment, Strong's calm confession, and his total lack of remorse. The evidence was overwhelming. The judge ruled that the murder of Rori occurred during sexual assault and bondage, making it first-degree murder. For Kandis, the lack of forensic detail and the 10-year gap led to a manslaughter verdict.
Strong avoided eye contact with the victims' families, offering no apology. The judge described him as a dangerous predator and bluntly told him, "You will never be seen in public again."
Rori Hache and Kandis Fitzpatrick, two young women robbed of their futures by the same man.
A judge calling their killer a dangerous predator who will never be seen in public again.
He was found guilty on all counts and sentenced to consecutive life terms, with no parole eligibility until 2042 for Rori's murder and 18 years for the manslaughter of Kandis. And if you like insane crime stories like this, click the playlist on your screen now.